Hey guys, today I'm gonna do a reading. I just got finished breaking down, crying, sobbing. Because of Lil Peep's death. I've done that before. I'll get over it, and then I'll 4 months later start crying about it. And anyway, I was talking. I was basically using the tarot cards to talk to him beyond the veil and ask him how he felt about his death and stuff. And I was talking to him about it, and it just made me cry more, of course, because his answers were so sad, but they made sense. He did tell me that he's found peace at this point. He was really sad about missing his family and his friends at first, and that he didn't want to die. He didn't realize he died. He almost thought he was just sleeping on the bus or he was just tripping, but the transition period for death was weird for him because it took him a while to realize he was actually dead, or for his soul to fully accept that. It's 444 right now as I'm starting this, but I can't blame him though, because the way that all went down was really fucked up. But anyway, I decided to come on here and do a reading for the YouTube channel with him and have talk to him, ask him some stuff for the YouTube channel. I asked him if he wanted to, and he was like, sure, why not? So I do feel he's moved on, kind of. He's kind of moved on from his death. He still has some things, memories of it, but I feel he's mostly moved on. He might have already gone to the next life. Doesn't mean his spirit isn't still dead. That spirit of that specific life isn't dead. We can't talk to it right now, but I feel he's already it's because it's been 5 years now. I feel at this time his soul has moved on to another life, but I feel what he's trying to say, well, as we start this, is just moving on. I feel one of the things that I noticed made him sad when I was talking to him earlier was just is knowing that he can't comfort his friends or his mom and be you can move on, it's okay, I've moved on. He can't do that for them. I feel he also just wants his fans and the people who love him to know that they can move on and that he's okay. Obviously not in a way where he's trying to rush your grieving, but just I feel now that he's in the energy of moving on, he wants that for everyone who cares about him, and he in turn cares about as well. Okay, so I don't know what to ask. Let me ask him what we should ask. Okay, so we have 3 pentacles and we have 6 of wands. He wants me to ask about his work, specifically to do with his success and recognition. Okay, what about it? 2 of swords and the hangman. What? 2 of swords, hangman. The energy is kind of weird there. I do feel there's something about his work that he didn't really get a choice. Is this specifically to do with your death? I don't think it was specifically to do with the death. I feel it was actually the whole time. The death, it was also part of the death too, but this was happening the whole time, kind of since the beginning. I don't know how his management team came about or when they came about or whatever, but there's this energy here of him kind of being stuck. Seven of Swords, manipulated. He feels he was manipulated by the people in his workplace or by superiors in his workplace. in a way where he just felt like Two of Swords reversed. He didn't have like a choice. Like he couldn't make a choice. Like Two of Swords is usually indecisiveness, but for me this is feeling like there's choices but he can't make them. Um and I feel like it's coming from this Three of Pentacles energy of like somebody working with him, or because of work, like because of the work he's doing. Um I feel like he didn't know then the kind of dangers that can come with being like shining so bright basically, and like being young especially, and shining so bright and not knowing how the measures people will go to over something like that. But the Hangman is telling me that he wants y'all to know that even though he was being manipulated and he knew he was being manipulated by people in the workplace, he like he didn't. I feel like trauma is one thing that made him like kind of just stay stuck with it, and he also like the pain for him was kind of a creativity thing. This the Hangman in reverse is really bothering me. It's like there's something about it. Even though it's a paradoxical energy. It's like he felt kind of at home in that environment, and like he also felt like he couldn't escape because that's the only way he could like have fame basically, or like he could stay in the fame. It's not that he thought he needed to stay in that environment to have fame, but he's like, I'm already doing this, I'm already making music this way, this is already my team, these are already my managers, like it's not like I can just change it all of a sudden. And so he's just like, this is kind of just how it is. And at this like part of him felt like he was good with it, like even if this is all I have, it's fine, like I'm doing my best with it, I'm expressing myself, like he felt like he was good with it. But at the same time, he felt like he was wearing a skin, he felt like he was wearing a mask, like he felt like he couldn't be his true self. And not completely, like in his music he expressed his true self, and around like some of Gothboy Click, like some of his true friends, not just Gothboy Click, but some of his true friends, like he felt like he could be himself. That's why he really liked that scene so much, because he felt like he could connect with those people, they understand him with the music. But with the management, with his managers and the way they were manipulating him, and not just them, but like other fake people around him, like the type of people that like to hang around famous people and just, and it's just like he would feel alone. And then of course with like the trauma and stuff, he would like hard time standing up for himself, so like he just didn't feel comfortable in his own skin. Like he liked being famous, but he didn't like the managers manipulating him, he didn't like all the fake people, he didn't like feeling like he had to be someone else for these people, like feeling like he had to act a certain way around these manipulators, or like it was just a lot of pressure he was feeling, especially around work, because the music is what he wanted to do the most. Like he loved the fame, he loved the music, and it's just because he was expressing his true self, and people were seeing that and understanding that and giving love for that. But it's like at the same time he couldn't get out of the managers, the business, like the business stuff, like the fucked up business stuff, and the druggies, and the like, not to be like that, but his manager was basically pimping him out with drugs, and like he wanted to express himself with the music, like he wanted that to be his job, but there was like, he felt like there was no other pathway to do that besides just staying in the fucked up thing, and it was just like, that's why he felt like he had no choice. Like that's why when it came to the ending, as well. Like he felt like he had no choice. Like it's just like I'm stuck like this. That's a lot of heavy energy. Holy shit. This is why I be breaking down. So this is why I be having like sob sessions about this every once in a while. Cause I'm like, oh peep, I'm so sorry. But yeah. On some level, he did get to express most of what, like, he made so much songs, bro. Like, he got to express most of what he wanted to say. Same time, he died really young. He died, like, what was he, 21? He died young as fuck, so he felt like I didn't get to do everything I wanted. I didn't get to really express what I wanted to express. Like, I made some things, but I didn't make the thing that I wanted to do. It's just like there's still something I could have done. So that was something he felt, especially at first when he first passed. I do feel like his soul has moved on more now, but I feel like we're just channeling the energies of like what was going on, of like surrounding his death, why he even chose that path, why he knew that he was going down that path, but he still kept going down the path because he felt like he had no choice. And it's a muddy thing. And with trauma, plus being like an intuitive, creative person, and it's just like you can get caught up in it so easily, especially the fame, the drugs. Okay. What else do you want to talk about? What else would you like to talk about? 10 cut. So he wants to talk about his family or his friends, his home life. His home life when he was a kid, I don't know if y'all know about Lil Peep. He definitely had trauma when he was a kid. Like, it's a known thing. Like, it's just like he had a lot of stuff going on and some fucked up stuff happened, I guess. But that was definitely a huge part of, like, the home life thing was like a huge thing. Because he would have breakdowns about it. And the managers would just like, they would like use it to their advantage, or like they would only calm him down when they wanted him to get on the show for that night. It's like they knew he had that trauma, but they would see him break down and they wouldn't get him help. Basically, it's like they would, and the drugs too. Like they knew when to give him drugs to like keep him from freaking out about something or having a panic attack. Like they knew when to give him drugs when he was having like a trauma response. Drugs is not a good way to cope, bro. Like they were feeding that shit. Because they were pimping him out, like for like that's how they were like controlling him. I mean, it's kind of common in that industry, but that's why he kind of felt like he had no choice, was because not only was like the trauma still affecting him and he was still going through like trauma response even this late in life, 21 years old, even to all the way till 21 years old, like trauma response still going on, and then the managers knowing on top of it, the managers using the drugs against him, and like it all amalgamated into one horrible thing of like, I'm stuck here. I have no choice. Especially with the drugs, because like he would get high to cope and like it wouldn't help. Like it would feel good when he was high, but when he came down, it like, I don't know. But anyway, his mom, this Queen of Wands is like, this is his mom. I feel like once again, like what's really hard for him having passed is that he can't really like tell his mom or his friends like it's okay, you know, like you don't have to cry over me. And it's like he feels their pain of him having died, and it's just kind of like sad for him. And he has moved on from it a little bit. He does. I feel like he's glad that his mom has took over the business, you know, and like took over the, what's it called? Merchandise. She took over that business, and I feel like that's working out really well karmically for both of them. He does feel like his soul still gets to express itself in his music to this day. Like, he definitely got a lot out in his music, and it's still like his soul is still there in his music, and it like, I feel like he's just glad that he was able to get that much out, because it's like all of that fucked up shit that he was going through in the industry wasn't for nothing. Like, at least he got to actually express the things that he was truly passionate about, which was his music. I mean, it came at a heavy price. I feel like one thing I feel like one thing he kind of doesn't like is that he was really upset, and there was a lot of hurt and anger and fear and trauma that went into a lot of his songs, because he didn't have anywhere to express that really and be heard. And I feel like he kind of regrets that he's giving that to other people, like that pain and that hurt. Like, kids, for example, will listen to that and like feel that from him. And especially some of his more darker songs where he knows he's like being darker, I feel like he's kind of weird about it, because he's like, I didn't actually want to put that out into the world. And he didn't realize how bad things his mind was, and his life, his body was getting to that point where it has so much darkness in his songs and everything, and he didn't even realize it got that bad until he was like actually dead. And you can hear it in his music. You can hear it it's like the depth of his pain and like desperation. But the Six of Wands is telling me he wants you to know he did do what he came on this earth to do. Like, he died young. He didn't get to do everything he wanted. That's true. But with the Six of Wands, all of the music he put out, his true soul, he got to do what he wanted to do. He feel like he didn't like his death. He wanted to have more life. He wanted to be with his friends and family more. But it was sort of destined the way it happened. He feel like it kind of happened at the right time, even if he did deserve more life. Like, no one deserves to fucking die that young. But he's kind of moved on to the point now where it's like, he feels like it's all right. Like, he feels like that's just kind of how it was for that life, because he was going through a certain karmic pattern through that life. He was going through a certain lesson, you know, and he learned that lesson, but like, because of what his choices and because of him feeling stuck with the trauma, the drugs, the music industry, whatever, you know, that's just how he died. And there's no, you can't change that's how it happened, because that was just going to happen in that, if he kept doing that, if that makes sense. But he's learned his lesson now. Like, his soul passed, he learned his lesson. Also, he felt like he got to do what he wanted. Part of his soul kind of wanted to go on a dark, crazy path and learn lessons from that dark, crazy path, which is why he took that lifetime as like a soul contract. He's like, I'll do this life. But yeah, it was a lot harder than he thought it would be. It was a lot harder. But he did do what his soul set out to do. His little destiny. He's like, I achieved my destiny. So I guess he wanted to say that. So, but I think we're done here. I'll ask him if he has anything else he wants to say before we leave. Four of Swords. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink his death. Don't overthink life. Definitely don't sit there and be like, feel like you don't have a choice like he did with the trauma and everything. It's like even just this reading and me channeling him right now, just don't overthink it. Like, that anxiety and self-doubt like ruins your life is kind of the energy I'm getting here. And like, when you look back on your life, you'll be like, I wish I wasn't so scared. I wish I wasn't so worried all the time because I would have enjoyed it more. That's really like his message here is like, I wanted to enjoy my life more. I wanted to enjoy it more. Like there was so much beauty in all the friends and my family, and I was so worried and overthinking all the time, and I was so worried about not having a choice that like it all just kind of passed me by. But anyway, that is a reading. Thank you, Peep. Thank you, Peep. Thank you, Peep. Thank you, Peep, for coming in today and giving these messages. I'm glad that you've moved on, and I'm glad to give these messages out for you because I understand your soul. I'm sure a lot of people here do too and feel connected to you. So, I guess we'll all see you when we die as well. And well, bye.